Alright, for the last one I'm going to do is this section. Section 7, where it's solving system equation inequalities, application problems. I'm going to do number 2. So it says Addie is trying to decide if she should take an Uber car or a taxi to the airport. Uber charges $2.60 plus 20 cents per 1/6 of a mile driven. The taxi charges $5 plus 10 cents per 1/6 of a mile driven. And then they ask you a bunch of questions. Alright, so looking at this problem, I have 2 scenarios. I want to define my variables. So x is per 1/6 of a mile driven. And then my y is the total cost that they spend. So let's talk about scenario 1. Uber. Scenario 1 is Uber. So you have $2.60. So that's 2.60, right? 2.6 plus 20 cents per 1/6 of a mile. So 0.2x. Right? And then the taxi, so that's scenario 2, that's your taxi, charges $5, right? That's the flat rate, that's not changing. Oops, I forgot my plus sign. Plus 10 cents per 1/6 of a mile driven. So those are my 2 equations, guys. Formulate a system of equations to represent the problem situation. So for my part A, that's my answer. Here's my system of equation. And then this one's 0.10x plus 5. B says, what is the solution to the system? What does it represent? So what you can do, guys, is you can plug these in the calculator, right? Second trace here, they intersect. You could also look at the table. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to do this by substitution. So I'm going to equal them to each other. Right? So I'm going to move this over, right? 0.2 is bigger than 0.1, so I'm going to move 0.10x over. So this will be 0.10x plus 2.6 equals 5. And then I'm going to subtract 2.6. So I get 0.10x. So then I get 2.4. So then I'm going to divide by 0.10 to figure out what x is. So 2.4 divided by 0.10, that's going to give me 24. So my x is 24. Now I need to figure out what my y is. Does it matter which one I plug it into? Nope. So I'm just going to plug it into the first one. 0.2 times 24 plus 2.6. I'm going to plug that straight into my calculator. 0.2 times 24. And then add 2.6. So I get 7.4. So my solution set is x is 24, y is 7.4. So this is the x and this is the y where they're the same, right? So part C says, what is the solution to the system? Which I found that, and then what does it represent? So basically, guys, what it represents is you have to drive 24 1/6 of a mile in order for both costs to be the exact same. There it is. Now for part C, it just depends. So the answer says, or which method of transportation would you choose and why? Well, in order for them to cost the same, you would have to do 24th 1/6 of a mile. But your answer can vary, right? So depending on what I would do in this case is compare if you did 2, right? You would have to know how far you need to go. So if I did 2 1/6 of a mile, plug it in, see which is the better deal. If I did 4 1/6 of a mile, plug it in, see what the better deal is. So it just depends how far you want to go. One might be a better deal versus the other, but it just depends on how far your distance, your x is. So there's no like exact solution. The answer for this problem would be like, it would depend how far you need to go, and then however far you need to go, you would plug it into your x value.